Alright, we are back on Apex Legends. It's been around 4 months since I've played this game, 3 or 4 months I reckon. Despite my last double have been about 1 to 2 months ago. That's all just a case of how I had videos scheduled on YouTube because I had a ton of content coming out at the time. But reality, we have not played this game for 3 to 4 months and it has gone through a hell of a lot of changes. And I decided to jump back on, try it out, see if it's worth re-downloading for you guys which have deleted it, and for you guys which are just taking a break from it. Is it worth coming back? Has it got any better? Well, we jumped in to find out and see what we felt and if Apex has been saved. Alright, so I mentioned it in my last video, but I wanted to quickly touch on why I stopped playing Apex. And it's simply because I didn't have many people that were playing it again, you know, people drying off and not kind of playing the game, and this game is awful to play solo. So, you know, despite the fact that I wasn't having a good time, Apex is always a game that I'll play if people are playing. But yeah, when you're not got people playing and you want to play solo, and there's just a couple of things that was happening a couple of months ago where, you know, the content was super dry. I mean, the relic weapons came back. I hated that entire period where relic weapons were in the game. It just made it almost unplayable with having the stupid alternator in there and stuff like that. But yeah, they've seemed to have cleared it up a little bit more now. I mean, we've already got limited time modes coming out pretty straight away. We've had 2 in the space of, you know, like a month or 2 since all the big changes. So yeah, things have changed a little bit. And speaking of those changes, one of the things I kind of criticised it for before Apex was no new weapon. The last new gun we had in this game was, I think, the Nemesis, and that came out, what, a year or 2 ago now. So yeah, it's getting pretty dry with the weapons. However, with that being said, they have made a ton of changes to the game that make some weapons more viable than others. Again, which, you know, I've touched on this before, it's a meta game, so there is going to be things, but we'll mention that a little bit further down the line. Yeah, so some guns feel a bit better to use, but ultimately you're still using the same weapons. I would like to have seen a new weapon come out this season. If one doesn't come out this year, I'd be very, very worried about this game, and that would potentially be the nail in the coffin if they can't come out with a new weapon within a year. In terms of maps, I don't mind the fact that they don't release, you know, a new map every single season or anything like that. I mean, that'd just be absolute chaos, but I would like to see a few changes to some of the maps. I mean, specifically Olympus, you know, I've come back and that's in rotation. I've never been a massive fan of Olympus. I was at the start, but the more and more I play it, the more and more I hate it. And it just feels like it's not had changes in ages, that game. Like, for me, that big turbine bit, or whatever it is, where it's like a rotating bit in the middle, get rid of that, make it something fun, something fresh. But yeah, they've just not done that. So, you know, a bit disappointing they haven't done that, but we'll mention the changes that they have made now. So the first change and most noticeable one is the TTK that has been reduced. All weapons do a significant amount more damage now, and shields feel like it's harder to get purple shields, you can't get red shields anymore, so you just die a lot quicker on the game. And I actually kind of like that. I know a lot of people have said it's a bit kind of Call of Duty-ish with, you know, the fact that you can die so quickly. A lot of pros have not liked it that much, but personally I think it means that your positioning is like the most important thing now. Okay, yeah, you've got to have good aim still because it's a shooter, but if you're in a super good position, got good cover you can peek in and out of, it just makes it more tactical. And despite the fact that you die technically quicker, it means that some fights could probably go on a lot longer because you're kind of ducking and diving in and out of cover, which, you know, is pretty cool. I like it. I like the change. I've always thought it's a bit annoying sometimes when you're just leathering someone full of bullets and they're just not dying. So yeah, it's nice to see the TTK change there. It's also nice to see the buff to like all weapon damages. I mean, there is meta in terms of the L star is still like really, really good at the time of recording this. It is still so powerful, despite the fact that it's had a little bit of a nerf. The Eva 8 as well has also had a nerf, but that thing still shreds. Like, you've got anything with a blue bolt minimum, you're gonna do insane damage with it, and it just fires so quick. But, you know, every weapon feels viable in my opinion. I mean, the Wingman, people sleep on it, but that thing is back to how it was. It does so much damage now. Granted, it still only has a tiny mag, but it's definitely worth a pick up and a try again. The only thing I would say is lacking a little bit is maybe the Mastiff. It's not shown, you know, that's gone through a bit of a, you know, nerfs and stuff due to, well, you know, it was being so strong a couple of seasons ago, whereas now, you know, the Eva 8 takes charge, which is fine. But it would be nice if the Mastiff just had a little bit more damage just to kind of compete with the Eva 8. There's also been a big change to Assault class in terms of like the legends that fall under that category, which we know we're going to come onto one soon, but legends such as kind of Ballistic, I've had massive buffs. I mean, they are super powerful now. His kind of silenced dart thing, however it is, that seems like really, really powerful. When you get hit by that, it does a ton of damage, and it overheats super, super quick now, it feels like, and also does damage again when you overheat. So if you're low on health, that thing will take you down. Still, some legends like Bangalore have kind of like fallen a bit out of favour still, and I think they just need to be shown like a little bit of love. But ultimately, all assault legends pretty cool. Like, they have this little perk now where you can kind of automatically reloads weapons for you, and it highlights you as well when you walk around corners. Now, you know I'm not a big fan of any kind of legend scan ability. I don't appreciate that being in the game whatsoever in terms of how long it lasts and stuff, but you know, it is only for a few seconds, so I can kind of get over it. And yeah, it's kind of fun to play. I mean, just the reloading thing where you have it stored, or you don't even have to have it stored, to be fair. It just reloads after a couple of seconds if it's in, you've got your other gun out, so yeah, technically it's stored. But yeah, they're pretty fun to play now. Now, it's not all been positive. There is a couple of negatives I feel in the game. I'll touch on the stupidest one to start with. Personally, I think the menu is awful. Okay, how it looks. Don't like the layout of it. It just seems, I don't know, pretty strange going back to it, and everything's been just in complete different areas. I just felt like the other menu was just better. Mainly the area where you see where your squad is, like your friends, when you're in the game, and you click on the banner. I don't know why it's not just above your head anymore. I suppose they've tried to make it look a little bit cleaner, but personally I think it just looks a bit messy and everything's kind of lost in there. But let's get to the main issue, and the main issue for me personally, I know people won't like this, I think it's Ashe. Okay, God, she is so annoying to play against, and even despite going through a nerf where she kind of has the dash ability, it takes a little bit longer to do, she's so hard to fight against. And I get it, there's a skill gap. Okay, someone who's going to be really good at Ashe is going to be really, really good at Ashe, right, and take you down. But yeah, she can be a little bit annoying. You know, it's not even the dash that's annoying. For me, it's the tether. The tether lasts too long and does way too much damage to you. I think that's the thing that needs nerfing. I'm not really that arsed about the dash. The dash, like I say, it offers a nice little skill gap, so if someone's really good at Ashe and can do the dashing thing all over, fair play. That, you know what, that's fine. Outmaneuver me, outplay me that way. But to tether me down so I can't move, then dash on my head, full send it and kill me, that feels a bit kind of, yeah, really annoying. So yeah, for me personally, I think the tether needs to be nerfed. However, I have mentioned this before in that this is a meta game, and by that I mean legends, weapons, they're going to go through metas, they're going to go through changes where, you know, for a couple of seasons, a season or two, one legend will be more powerful than the other. It's impossible to get a fair playing field, I think, personally, and I think that's the way that Apex tries to keep things fresh, in that they will super buff one legend so that everyone plays them for ages, and then they'll nerf them and then bring out another legend. Normally they nerf them just after they bring out the prestige skin as well, just so they get a bit more cash in there. But yeah, it is a meta game, I understand that. It's just sometimes we go through really bad metas. I mean, personally, I think the one with Lifeline and Newcastle where they were just absolutely insane with all their healing abilities, that was the worst meta that we went through. But this Ashe one with the tether and then the ballistic silence, and on top of that, I still think Lifeline is still so powerful. Yeah, it can be a little annoying, but like I say, it's not the worst meta we've had. But just understand that, you know, if you do come back to playing this game, it's going to be like that no matter what. That's just the way that Apex is, which I'm sure we all kind of appreciate and know now. Okay, but ultimately, have they turned the ship around? Have they stopped Apex from sinking? Have they clawed us all back into playing it again? Well, personally, I think kind of. I mean, I've come back, I've tried it, I've enjoyed it. Again, I feel like I'm enjoying it though because I'm playing with friends and, you know, just having a good time. I think any game that you play with friends, 9 out of 10 times can be pretty good. The lobbies haven't felt like super sweaty, but I have, after a while, ran into a couple of 3-stacks, a couple of Preds and stuff, especially LTM, that Resurgence one that they brought back for like the start of the season. That was a bit rough. Okay, after a few games I was running into the most disgusting 3-stacks you've ever seen. In fairness, ranks felt pretty good. I mean, I'm only up to plat now, but even those lobbies still feel okay and, you know, challengeable, which is, you know, kind of how it should be. And I imagine when I get to Diamond, that's when it'll start getting sweaty and really hard. But, you know, lobbies feel okay. I had a friend of a friend who's first time kind of jumping back onto Apex, not touched it in years, and yeah, his lobbies seemed pretty good. Like, he was saying how You know, it wasn't super sweaty or anything like that, so it seems like they've had some kind of adjustment to it, and they are making things better with SBMM, but again, they don't really use SBMM, they use that stupid matchmaking thing where they basically let you have a win, then you lose 10, and they'll give you a win, and yeah, I don't really like how they do it, but it seems to have got a little bit better. Like I say, not as bad as what it felt. Maybe the fact that the TTK is so low now that it's kind of stopped people from, well, like everyone's fairly good at the game now, because all you have to do is hit someone a few times and you broke the shields and they're down to, you know, flesh. So yeah, I think personally I'd come back and try it if you like Apex, if you played it before and you liked it a lot, come back, try it out. It is like playing a lot fresher, like a bit of a new game, just because that TTK adjustment. But you know, I still think the jury's out into kind of finding out if this game has been quote-unquote saved, right? Because I don't think it was a game that was ever dying, but it was, you know, the numbers were dropping drastically, and I think they've clawed it back a little bit with this season. It's just, let's see what they do for the rest of the season. Will they start adjusting, you know, a couple of nerfs in the, you know, like Eve rate and Ash and stuff like that? They're going to do that, but when they do that, are they going to start buffing other things as well? And ultimately, are they going to keep bringing LTMs out and keeping this game mode fresh? We'll see. Personally, like I say, jump back on, try it out, let me know what you think, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. I will be dropping a few more Apex videos as well, because I've got a ton of content, because I've been playing quite a bit recently. These last few weeks I've played a lot of ranked, so yeah, we're going to drop some ranked games in there, some good games, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.